Both King and Winfrey have been ardent supporters of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. After Harry and Meghan announced their intention to step back as working members of the royal family in January, Winfrey defended their decision. Gayle King said she believes that Meghan Markle has receipts, also known as evidence, that support her claims to Oprah, including her allegations of racist discussions about Archie's skin tone. "I think Meghan has plenty of receipts, meaning she's been keeping track of things," King said. King isn't the only person to presume that Meghan has kept a running file of what's transpired during her time living under the monarchy's rule. Meghan's friend of nearly 2 decades, Janina Gavankar, said something similar. "Though their recollections may vary, ours don't because we lived through it with them," Gavankar said, quoting Buckingham Palace's statement, according to Elle. "And there are many emails and texts to support that," she added. Meghan herself has not shared whether or not she has proof of the things that she told Winfrey, but emails usually stay in a person's sent folder for, well, ever. "I support them 1000%. I support them because I believe that when you have thought about this as long as they have, and even in the Queen's statement, everyone take note, where the Queen says, 'This has been going on for months,'" Winfrey said at the time in an interview. "I don't think anybody else has any right to say anything. When a person has sat and thought about what is the best decision I'm gonna make for my family, and then he makes that decision, none of us have any right to say anything about that," the media mogul added. Gayle King also spoke to CBS Boston about the royal family's relationship to the media, describing it as symbiotic and incestuous. "They feed off each other, and I think Oprah was very surprised to learn that," the reporter revealed. "How is it that you would allow the tabloids to print stuff that you know is not true? So clearly, when you listen to Harry and Meghan, there's a lot of wheeling and dealing between the royal family and the tabloids," she continued, referring to how Harry reportedly asked his family to call the dogs off and was denied. King also explained what Oprah's primary motivation was while she interviewed the couple. When Oprah started the interview, she said her main thing was for people to understand why they left the UK. "It was very important to Harry that people understood he did not blindside the Queen despite the narrative that was put out in the British media," King explained. In fact, the CBS This Morning host noted that in the Oprah interview, Harry shared that he had several conversations with his grandmother, and she was apparently on board with the move. However, one tabloid claims the media mogul feels betrayed after finding out the Sussexes lied to her face. Ever since Prince Harry and Meghan Markle left their royal duties, they have relied on Oprah Winfrey's help and friendship. But that's all over now. Winfrey turned on Markle and Harry after she found out they had lied to her during their now infamous interview back in March. After the interview, outlets were quick to flag many of the Sussexes' statements as untrue. As soon as those headlines started coming out, and Oprah learned that they'd either exaggerated or downright lied to her, she was furious, an inside source dishes. This put a severe dent in Oprah's reputation as one of America's most skilled interviewers, and even now, almost 8 months later, it hasn't quite recovered. And after Markle visited a Harlem school, where most of the children came from low-income families, while wearing a $20,000 outfit, Winfrey is calling their friendship off. American audiences are starting to realize that Harry and Meghan aren't exactly practicing what they're constantly preaching, and people are beginning to turn on them, another tipster explains. Oprah knows she needs to distance herself from them for her own good. The tabloid points to recent comments from Winfrey about not having many friends as evidence of a rift between her and the Sussexes. That was a rather pointed comment to make because, until that point, everyone in Oprah's circle assumed she was extremely close with Meghan. But it seems that's changed, the tipster concludes.